The Transport Minister says the treatment of Australian women who are subjected to invasive body searches at Doha Airport was a factor in her decision to block extra Qatar Airways flights into the country. Catherine King says it was just one factor, but won't say what the others were, denying accusations that it was Qantas that influenced her decision.
The final call was made by Transport Minister Catherine King, and she stands by it, denying Qatar Airways' request for 28 extra flights per week in the Australian market.
I made this decision in the national interest, and there is no one factor that I will point to that swayed my decision one way or the other.
Today, revealing part of it was because of the invasive strip searches conducted on 18 Australian women in Doha 3 years ago, marched off a plane at gunpoint after a newborn baby was found in an airport bin. She's previously denied this was a factor.
It wasn't the only factor, it was a factor.
What are the other factors? What are the other factors then?
If that's the real reason, it's not the frequency of flights that matters, but whether they have them at all. So I'm unconvinced.
5 of the women wrote to the minister begging her to take their insensitive and irresponsible treatment into consideration. She responded on the day of the decision, confirming the state-owned carrier won't get extra air rights. The PM wasn't informed until days later.
Do you still have confidence in your Transport Minister?
Come on. Of course I do.
If we slapped economic sanctions on every time there was a human rights issue in a country we trade with, we'd be in a whole lot of trouble. And I don't need to name names.
The federal government denies accusations the decision was made to protect Qantas's profits, claiming commercial interests weren't at play. But the old and new Qantas bosses will be called to give evidence at a Senate inquiry.
The effect of her decision is that flights are going to be more expensive for Australians at a time of extreme cost of living pressures.
I mean, really, that is just an absolute nonsense.
The Transport Minister says she hasn't checked in with Alan Joyce or Vanessa Hudson since the changeover.
Oh, I'm not trying to keep my distance.
As their closeness is questioned. Chloe Boris for 10 News First.